tough one to take, really, after you got yourself back in that game and probably felt you could have gone on and won it.
Yeah, it is. Listen, we were certainly valued for at least a point today. I thought that. I think we were very comfortable in the first half. We had the better moments in the game. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously the goals, the kick in the teeth, the way sort of they came about, I thought, obviously the execution of the free kick from Jacobs was outstanding. But yeah, obviously the penalty and the third goal pretty much, almost summed parts of the season up in really small moments. But there was a lot to be admired by the performance. Thought we were good, certainly on the transition, and caused them all sorts of problems. And the reality is, their goalkeeper getting man of the match says everything that you need to say.
You must have been proud how your side fought back in that game, because we've seen it sometimes this year where they'll go 2-0 down and you wouldn't fancy your chances, whereas today they didn't let their heads drop.
No, listen, they're in a good spell, we're performing well. I thought that last week against Wigan, I thought we played pretty well in the game. Obviously, I thought the officials, certainly against Wigan, didn't help us and was probably a big part of our downfall last week. But yeah, no, I fully expect us to stick at it and keep going for it. I think the players knew that there was opportunities in the game for them. I think we felt that even from the first half. So for them to get the reward and come back to obviously bring it back to 2-2 and then it not quite happen again, yeah, frustrating.
Ben House coming on, whose decision was that?
In terms of
who made the decision? Was it your call?
Yeah, it's always my decision. yeah. No, yeah. I mean, listen, Ben's been great in training for the last probably 4 or 5 weeks. Ironically, I had a few minutes with him at the hotel before we left and told him how unlucky he was not to play. To be fair, not to start. We did have the option to keep Liam certainly in that central role and play Ben off the side. We're still trying to work out what his best position is, because he's obviously not played too much football for us, but he's comfortable dealing with the ball and running the ball. But yeah, listen, I'm delighted that he gets his opportunity and gets his goal.
Yeah, difficult moments today for the goalkeeper. Ted Bishop spoke about the players rallying around him. Is he okay in there? I mean, it's a difficult day all round, isn't it, for him, especially in front of a big crowd as well? Yeah,
but he'll be fine. He's been good for us since he's come in. There was no expectation on him, obviously, when he first walked through the door, because of how that came about. And then obviously he's played ever so well for us. He's had big moments in games that have gone for him. Obviously today it's not quite gone for him, but he'll come back. He'll be fine. He's a good character. He's got a decent personality about him, and he can handle adversity. I've seen it in training, seen it in a couple of games, and yeah, the good thing from Jordan's point of view, there's a game literally around the corner come Monday, so he gets an opportunity to address it.
Yeah, still not mathematically safe. Does it feel like it's a bit of a struggle getting over the line at the moment?
No, well, maybe we're 1 or 2, but I think from our point of view, we just got to make sure that performance levels are still where they were today, and then I'd like to think that against I mean this with a great respect, a lesser side than the previous 2 that we just played, that we'll be able to get over the line.
No Joe Walsh today. What's the problem there?
He's injured. He's got an hamstring strain.
Out for the season, or?
Yes.
Sums up the season, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously, got sort of 3 players, possibly 4, depending on where we're at with Cohen, that yesterday and the day before, I'm being told that the season's done. So you can imagine how frustrating that was. The reality is we've got 4 or 5 players on the bench today, and I know you can only make 3, but in terms of options, keeps us really, really limited, certainly in the defensive roles.
And that's something, I guess, that will be looked at in the recruitment in the summer, as to these players that you need to find players you're going to get 40 games out of.
Yeah, because it's hard to be sort of like self-critical sometimes when these type of things throw themselves up, because again I can't remember. I'm sure there has been an occasion, but I can't remember too many times where we've been able to play the same back 4, or even in that spell when we played with a 3. The same back 4, 3 players, back-to-back games. It's not happened too many times, if any, which tells you everything you need to know.